forgot my tripod. This is the culmination of a 10-year journey down the River Thames from the highest navigable point of the canoe, which is Cricklade, and down as far as Teddington Lock, which is where the Thames becomes tidal. This is Bovney Lock Portage, which is pretty cool actually. Just slide the thing down. What do you reckon, Wells? Should we get back in? So it's been a pretty good paddle this morning. We've done well. It's 2:23. We set off at 10, so that's 4 hours, and we've done 10 miles. So that's not bad going actually, including the locks. That's pretty good. Almost at the next lock. 6 more miles to do. Roughly 6 or 7 miles to do. To the overnight camp spot at Chertsey, which will be lovely because it's right next to a motorway, but never mind. It's a big campsite, so that'll be a bit unusual. Lots of caravans around, and me and the dog in a small tent next to the river, hopefully, all being well. So, Magna Carta Island is now also the site of Wilma and I's lunch. She's already eaten hers, and I'm just having this Uncle Ben's vegetable pilau rice. I should tell you that Magna Carta Island is the site of the signing of England's most famous constitutional document, and for those in America, our constitution is nothing like yours. Yours is a lot, gives citizens much more rights than ours does, but this one is about as close as we ever got really. 1215, King John came down to Runnymede, which is here, Magna Carta Island, to sign this document that had been put together by the barons, and it gives various rights to men of England. Not all men of England, because obviously at the time peasants like myself wouldn't have had any rights, but it was a start. And yeah, just going back to the notes here, clause 23 of the Charter gives the right to navigation on the River Thames, so it's quite fitting that I'm sitting here on the banks with my canoe next to me, on our way down the Thames, and we have a legal right to do that. The odd thing is, because the Thames is now run by, you know, an organisation, you have to pay for the navigation rights. You have to pay to be allowed to use it, even though in the Magna Carta it's a right of passage. So I'm not sure if the Magna Carta actually worked there, but canoe licence for the year is 45 quid, and that's not just the Thames, that's other places. So that's about $60 for anyone in America, and that gives you rights to paddle on the navigable rivers in this. The other nice thing about being on Magna Carta Island is it's the quiet side. I mean, obviously I'm sat right next to a path here, and obviously, you know, people do come in, but I suspect it's probably a National Trust property, which again means you probably have to pay to come here technically. So I've sort of come in via the back door, as it were. But the other side, I've been looking for somewhere to stop. On the other side is road and people, because it's a lovely weekend. Bodies everywhere. Camp set up. And dinner number one. So while that bubbles away, let's take a look at the map. So, started off just over the page, just about there. All the way through. Yeah. Windsor. Took a long time to get around Windsor because there's a big loop there, and lots of places around there like to think they're Windsor. So you've got Windsor and you've got Old Windsor right down here. Old Windsor still there. Then we get Magna Carta Island. That's where we had our lunch. That was the 10-mile point. Then come down under the M25. That was a big moment. And then Staines, not terribly nice, but alright, considering it's on the river. And then all the way down here, past Leyland Park. I was getting really tired at this point. Penton Hook Lock was self-service, which is really annoying. That's Penton Hook. And Chertsey Lock, last lock, self-service, and literally from that one I had to climb over, do the portage, climb over to this side of the weir. And you can see actually you come down this side here, and I've climbed over to this side of the weir, and then I was literally camped just there. So literally got back in the canoe to go across the river and camp there. So not the best setup, but never mind. For tomorrow we've got 10 miles of river, so we're starting, get back to my pointer, we're starting here and then wiggling round, and it's just getting busier and busier as we go on, so it'll be interesting to see what tomorrow is like. Bear with, right, there we go. So we come through, I've got to decide yet whether I go round the old long way, which is supposed to be nicer, or go through the Desborough Cut. Haven't decided which way I'm going to go there yet. See how I feel in the morning, and then up this way, Sunbury, Hampton, around here, and then up to Teddington Locks, which are just here, and that's where it ends. Because beyond that, this bit up here, all tidal, and it's going to be so busy. For those who are interested, dinner was brought to you by the Pocket Stove, and that's the Pocket Stove down there, with a little Trangia burner just tucked inside, and a separate windshield. And the canoe is a Mad River canoe. It's a Mad River Explorer, 14 feet, triple tough. It's a TT. It wasn't new when I got it, and it's considerably less new now, but it's just given Wilma an opportunity to stretch her legs on the water meadows on this next section of the river that we'll be paddling tomorrow. I think I needed this walk as much as Wilma did. Stretch out my back, you know, loosen everything up again, and also unusually for me, and it's because we're getting to a busier and busier part of the world on this stretch of river. There's nowhere to wild camp down here. There just isn't any available bits or space, or everything's marked up as private and stuff. So I'm on a big campsite, organised campsite, which has cost me £24.95, I think, or £25 for 2 nights. I'm only staying one, but I had to book 2 because it's a bank holiday weekend. You know, it's that sort of place. Nothing wrong with that, and it is lovely, and the facilities are really nice. But it's not what Wilma and I are used to. So it's nice to get out into a bit of space, out of the way, and then I'll go back when it's sort of later, darker, and just have some quiet time in the tent. But at least Wilma's had a good walk, and so have I.
You're alright, babe, go sleep. It's okay. As I alluded to earlier, this is the culmination of 10 years for me. And 10 years is a ridiculously long time to spend paddling down the Thames. Clearly I haven't spent all my time in the last 10 years doing it. But the non-tidal bit of the Thames is, I think it's about 135 miles. Now, I started way back, around about 2008. Myself, my then brother-in-law, and a friend of his, we all went out and we bought identical touring kayaks. We didn't know anything, but we took advice from the guys in the shop, and they gave us very good advice, and I absolutely loved that kayak. And anyway, we paddled around at home quite a lot, which was sort of like the Bourne End area near Marlow in Buckinghamshire at the time, and you know, got our river legs, as it were. And then we headed up to Lechlade, and we started paddling back down over a course of a weekend camping, and we got down as far as Wallingford, which is about 54 miles by river. And then there was a big hiatus. Lots of things changed in my life, and 2012 I picked up a paddle again, but it wasn't a paddle for a kayak, it was a paddle for a canoe, because by then I had little Wilma with me, and of course you can't get a dog in a kayak. So 2012, when I started my YouTube videos, that's when I started carrying on down, and we did, on that first weekend with Wilma, I came down from Wallingford as far as Henley, and then did a day trip, with my new wife. She wasn't my wife at the time, but she is now. Did a day trip with her and Wilma, and we got down to sort of Marlow, Bourne End. We got down to Bourne End that day, and that sort of joined up that section, because obviously the Bourne End to Bray section, where I started this weekend at Bray, I'd already done all of that. So Bray downwards was all new to me today. So now I've got 12 miles left to go. And I should also say, during this period, I met a chap called Lee Robinson. He became a very good friend, and he and I went back up to the upper reaches of the Thames, and we paddled Cricklade to Lechlade, which was sort of like a missing bit, because I'd started at Lechlade, whereas technically in a canoe or a kayak you can start at Cricklade. So we went and did that bit, so that was really good to do that. So that sort of filled in that little gap. And then yeah, tomorrow I've just got 12 miles to go now. So from Chertsey, where I am now, camping overnight at the Camping and Caravan Club site, Chertsey, which is a completely alien world to me, but it's quite nice though, to have some facilities and things is quite nice. from here down to Teddington Lock, which is where the Thames goes tidal. And an interesting fact for you about Teddington Weir, because you know the Thames is a big river by UK standards, but it's not big on a global scale. But even the Thames at Teddington Weir in a day, 1,535 million gallons of water flow over the weir there every day. 1,535 million gallons of water a day. I mean, that's mental. So Wilma and I are getting out there, not at the weir hopefully, but we're getting out there, and that's going to be the end of our river journey down the Thames. So I'm looking forward to that. That'll be a good day. But for now, it's bedtime.
Morning everybody. Time 7:20, day 2. Here's a little view of the area we slept in last night, and you can see we're slightly outnumbered by camper vans. Guernsey, Bank Holiday Sunday, early May Bank Holiday Sunday, 9:30 in the morning. Bloody lovely. Just got down to Shepperton Lock. It's being opened up just for me and Wilma, which is lovely. Straight ahead now is the Desborough Cut, and off to the left is the original course of the river. So although it's further, I'm going to take the original course of the river, because I think I should. Trip, you might as well do it properly on the old river. And it does say it's much nicer on this side, and they're absolutely right. It is an awful lot nicer. Yeah. Welcome to Sunday morning. Just about to ride back home. Only kidding. Nice though, isn't it? Bloody lovely day today. Getting there. So behind me is the portage at Molesey Lock, and we've got 5 miles now to the next lock, which is Teddington Lock, and that's where we're getting out. That's where our journey ends. So I've got a hard 5-mile paddle now, and then we're there. Journey's end. Kingston upon Thames Bridge. First proper London bridge, really.
This is it, Teddington Lock. Just about to go down the ramp. That marks tidal water. And the end of our trip. Just going to go meet our lift. So, thanks for watching.